Welcome to Echoes of a Hollowed World, where we unravel the chilling mysteries and twisted experiments that defy reality. Tonight, we take you to a small, quiet town in Omaha, Nebraska, where something invisible has swept through the winter air, a pathogen that preys on the mind, dredging up fears and memories and twisting reality into nightmares. But this virus may be more than just a biological threat. Tonight's story is the Hallucination Virus, an alien mind game. Picture this: a small farming community, blanketed by snow, where every house seems just a little too quiet. The town's heartbeat, slowed by something unseen, something that only shows itself when the wind carries its peculiar scent. A scent that warns you to lock your doors, seal the windows, and wait for the hallucinations to pass. And in the heart of it all, a man named Tom Riley, a corn farmer, doing everything he can to protect his wife, Eva, from the horrific plague. Tom's life revolves around his family's legacy, 100 acres of cornfields, stretching as far as the eye can see. But as winter arrives, so does an unsettling whisper carried on the icy wind. Tom and Eva had first noticed the strange smell just as the first snowfall dusted the fields. Eva had joked that maybe it was the fertilizer, or just the smell of the earth. But then, something changed. Neighbors began to disappear, locking themselves in, hiding from something they couldn't see. And then came the whispers, stories of strange visions. People said they were seeing things that weren't there. Dark figures, familiar faces from the past, shadowy reminders of old trauma and fear. But it was only after Eva herself succumbed to the virus that Tom truly understood. At first, she merely seemed distant, as if lost in a dream. But then, her body began to twitch. Her eyes glazed over as if watching scenes only she could see. Horrifying scenes of her childhood, of the storms that once threatened the farm, of the fire that nearly took her father's life. Eva was locked in a nightmare that she couldn't escape. And the strange thing was, if she reacted in that dream, if she tried to run or fight back, her body moved as if it were truly real. Tom began to realize that this wasn't a normal virus. It was something darker. If Eva flinched in the hallucination, she flinched in real life. If she screamed, her voice echoed across the fields. And then one night, as she screamed in terror from the hallucinations, he saw her bleed, without anything visibly hurting her. In his desperation, Tom found himself facing a choice: abandon his home, or face the virus head-on to save his wife. He set out to find answers, to understand why this virus was attacking not just the body, but the mind. Why it tore open old wounds, forcing people to relive their worst nightmares. And soon, he would learn that these hallucinations were not just some cruel twist of fate. Tom discovered a terrifying truth. The virus wasn't merely infecting people's bodies. No, this was a test, a deliberate experiment. The virus targeted memories and fears, breaking people down, weakening their spirits, and reshaping their minds from the inside out. But the question was, who or what was behind it? The answer came one dark, freezing night. As Tom stood outside looking up at the night sky, he saw it, hovering just beyond the clouds, silent, watching. A craft, enormous, otherworldly, casting a faint glow over the snow-covered ground. Tom felt a shiver, deeper than the cold, as he realized he was not alone. And he knew somehow that these hallucinations, these nightmares, weren't accidents. They were orchestrated. The alien presence wasn't just observing humanity, it was manipulating them. The hallucinations weren't random. They were designed to hollow out the mind, to sever the connections that people held with their pasts, their families, their own sense of self. Piece by piece, the virus eroded everything that made them human. Those who survived, those who managed to overcome the hallucinations, lost something in the process. They became empty, compliant, vulnerable. Tom began to realize that the virus wasn't just an attack, it was a conditioning tool, a way to prepare humanity for something far worse. The aliens weren't interested in invading with guns or bombs. They wanted to slip into human consciousness, like a shadow overtaking the mind. And Eva, his sweet, loving Eva, she was already slipping. Every night, she drifted further away, her eyes losing their light, her voice growing hollow. Until one day, she spoke to Tom with a voice that wasn't her own. A voice that was cold, unfeeling, speaking words in an alien language that chilled Tom's blood. The world you know is ours now. We are the empty spaces, and soon you will join us. Tom stumbled back, his heart pounding. Eva wasn't just infected, she was gone. An alien consciousness had hollowed her out, taking control of her body like a puppet, using her voice as its own. Desperate, Tom fled to the edge of town, warning anyone who would listen. But most had already been infected, their minds slowly unraveling, turning them into empty shells. The few who were still uninfected stared at him in horror, unable to understand. And so Tom faced the darkness alone. The last we heard of Tom, he was barricading himself in his home, clutching a photograph of Eva from happier times, his eyes full of fear and defiance. But as he held on to his memories, he knew it was only a matter of time. The virus was spreading, the alien mind slipping into each survivor like whispers in the wind. Soon, the entire town would be theirs. And then, perhaps, the world. In the end, it wasn't a war of worlds. It was a quiet invasion, a hollowing of humanity's soul. And when you look at the people around you, remember, there may be nothing left inside. Thank you for listening to Echoes of a Hollowed World. Until next time, stay vigilant and watch the skies.